me move the microphone over here and get y'all closer to me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, you know who it is. JJ on JJ's PC Builds. Alright. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to work towards 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. What I mean by 4,000 watch hours is if you watch the video from beginning to end, would help out the channel, help support the channel, subscribe, and watch the videos. Alright, let's just jump into it so that way y'all can see what's going on and everything else. The leaks. Okay, we know about the 4070 leak. Now, is it going to be the 4060 or the 4060 Ti? I'm a little bit confused. I'm seeing a lot of leaks on 4070, 4060. I think I've already did a video on the 4060 Ti, if I'm not recalling right. But let's see if we can find something on the 4060. So we're going to go ahead and get everything all hunky-dorky. And we're going to move over to the action screen real quick. Alright, let's see. RTX 4060 specs. Let's see what comes up. Oh, we got a 4060 spec. Let's go to Tech Power Up. Okay. Now, you know Tech Power Up, they're going to move back and forth, and when it comes to the different oddball things, you know, they update their pages as soon as they find out something new comes out. But if I'm right, this is supposed to be the product that's going to be released next month. Not too sure on the time. You know, I'll get the time to you. Just gonna have to give me time for that. But looking at this, it's the AD106, and it's supposed to have 3,840 core. It's going to be 120 TMUs, 48 ROPS, 8 gigabytes of memory, GDR6, 128-bit. Now, they're estimating this on a 5 nanometer process. The amount of transistors is still unknown. It's ADA Lovelace, and it's supposed to have a bus interface of PCIe 4.0 x16. Now, this is what the Tech Power Up is showing me. The base clock is 2310, the boost clock's 2535, and the memory clock's 2250 at 18 gigabits per second effective. So, and the bandwidth is supposed to be 288 gigabits. Okay, that's not, I mean, when you got your newer, you know, you got some of the newer, the bigger cards like the 4080 and like the 4070 Ti, the 4090, they got a higher bandwidth. Do remember that. The higher the bandwidth goes, you know, the higher the bandwidth in gigabytes per second, the better you're off, because that way it shows that it supports a lot more in the end game. But this one having 3,840 shading units, pixel rates 121 gigapixels, texture rate is 304.2 gigatextiles. The FP16 half is 19.47 T-flops, 1-to-1. The FP32 float is 19.47. It's like the same thing as the FP16 half. It's 19.47 T-flops. Now the FP64 double, it's 304.2 G-flops. That's 1 to the 64th. Now, if that was T-flops, that would be a little bit more, and it would be a lot better on the FP64 double. I would imagine it would have been a lot better to see it in the T-flop. Okay, this does have a 24 megabyte L2 cache. It's got an L1 cache, 128 kilobytes per SM. Okay, So it's got 30 RT cores. It's got 120 tensor cores. SM count is 30. And let's see, shader model 6.7, CUDA's 8.9, Vulkan's 1.3, OpenCL's 3.0, OpenGL's 4.6, and DirectX 12 Ultimate to the second. Now this is the second version of Ultimate, DirectX 12. It's not just DirectX 12. It's not DirectX 12.1. It's should be all three, basically DirectX 12, DirectX 12.1, and DirectX 12.2. So its TDP is 200 watts, but you know how that goes. That's just probably baseline watts. That the power consumption of the card, it'll probably go up to like 240 or 250. You never know how nvidia has things set up. The outputs, it's got one HDMI 2.1. It's got 3 display ports at 1.4A. It's got a power connector at one power connector, 12 pin. They did say, now don't quote me on this, but they did say they were going to have some come out in 8 pin. Okay, they were going to have some come out in 8 pin power connectors. So I'm waiting to see those. I'd rather use one that has an 8-pin power connector than using these 12-pin power connectors, the ones that fry on instant if you look at it, but you know how it goes. But just to let you know, some are skeptical about, how this card's going to come out. I mean, it's already looking like, the 6700 XT is, from Radeon, the RX 6700 XT looks like it's going to be like neck to neck with this card. The 2080 Ti is definitely 7% higher. 6750 XT is definitely 7% higher. Let's see, the RX 3070 is 14% higher. 3070 Ti is 22% higher. Radeon RX 6800 is 26% higher. This is just relative. This is not exact. I'm just giving you a relative amount. So, but looks like the 4070 is 50% more from what the charts show and going down the road. So if you're looking like a 3080, that's 48% higher. You're looking for a 3070. I mean, all in all, neck and neck. It's even got the 2080. The 2080 Ti is 7% higher. So that's kind of scary to think a 20 series card is higher than, right here. You can see it right here for your own two eyes. A 20 series card, 2080 Ti is 7% higher than a 4060 being the new 40 series. That right there, I'll be honest with y'all, looking at that, make sure y'all look at getting your drink and your snacks on while you're watching the video. And also, too, you know what I'm going to say, make sure you subscribe. Now, looking at this, a 20 series card, I had to look again just to make sure I'm doing like a double take. I'm making sure that I'm looking at this correctly. So it's looking like they got one 20 series card that runs faster than this new 60. My bad. Do remind you all, okay, this is relative compared to what the actual card's going to be doing. So this is just estimating and giving you my opinion on the estimates for the card. And looking at the numbers, getting estimates, giving me ideas of what it's going to be about, it's looking like, I don't know about you, but the 4060 looks like it's about almost close to dead on arrival. Is it worth it? Is it going to be worth the money for price to performance? Okay. For gaming, the only thing they're going to push on this, and I want everybody to understand, this is what nvidia has been doing. They're sitting there pushing these little boosters, like DLSS 3 and, all that other crap. If you want to know you got a great card, run it at baseline level. Okay? You want to test your card, run it at stock, run it at baseline level. Don't turn any of that other stuff on. Run it at a normal medium value. Run it at baseline. And you will see the difference if you turn all that crap on compared to leaving it off and judging the card for what it is on the base level. Don't go boosting it or anything else. Run it at base level. A lot of people keep forgetting. They want to put all this extra, push, and, keep pushing the card to its max. But you got to remember, running it at a high pace for the duration of 2 to 3 to 4 hours and doing that every day is going to wear that GPU out. It's going to wear the transistors out. It's going to wear the resistors out. It's going to wear the diodes out. Try running it at base level with nothing running. Play your games at medium level. Do it in 1080p at a medium level. Okay? Don't turn on all that extra crap. Don't turn on ray tracing. Don't turn on nothing. Just run it at base level and see what your actual performance is. A lot of people get it, oh, I have to run ray tracing. I have to do this and that. No, you don't. Because back years ago, they didn't have all that extra ray tracing and everything else. It was definitely baseline. So to play the games, the card itself would have to perform. You want the hardware to perform more than just overclocking it and having it perform less. Because the more heat you put on a transistor, the less output you get. You don't believe me? Look it up. The more heat you put on a transistor, the more it breaks down. And these big GPUs are just like a transistor. The more heat you put to it, the more it breaks it down, and the less value it has. It loses its value. Okay? Now, me running integrated graphics, mine is pushed right there at a medium point. It's not pushed overclocked. It's not none of this is overclocked. Me making videos here today, right now, the 25th of April. This computer is right there at its point of going overclocked and going underclocked. So it's a happy medium. Now, you don't have to push it too hard just to get it to where it's going. If you're not in base level, you test it out in base level when you're gaming, instead of turning everything on, don't turn nothing on. Leave it all off and only clock the card up to medium and run it at 1080p. Okay? And see what it looks like right there. And then you move it, you add something else on. Then you add something else on. Try it at 1080p base level clock, and then try it at 1440p base level clock. Try it at 4K base level clock, and, make notes and see which one runs better. See which gives you a better performance, which one doesn't create lag and everything else. That's how you start breaking down and going this way and this way until you get down to, guess what? The card you want to be at. So you can take your one card, clock it one way, clock it another, and keep going back and forth until you get a happy medium. Okay? Once you see that happy medium and the graphics look great and everything else, and and this is the same graphics card. Clock it out to where it runs great, it's not overheating, and it stays at a normal level. Right now, I can tell you my integrated graphics runs at 91 degrees Fahrenheit, and the processor overall, for just the processor only, shows me it's at 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. So, with me right here on the internet and doing OBS, got that running too. And I see how hot my processor is, how hot the GPU side of the processor is, and I see how hot my RAM is, I see how hot my hard drives are, I see everything, because I have all the temperatures down at the bottom of my screen. I monitor all the temperatures. Anytime I come on this computer, I monitor my temperatures just to see if it's running too hot or it's not balanced. I balance it through the temperatures. Mine, I balance it through the temperatures, and it seems that it's definitely running at its normal. And it doesn't crash. It doesn't give me black screen. Doesn't do anything, but lets me work. Lets me do the job. And I'm not complaining. I love it to death. 7 months going into the 8th month, going strong on this PC. Guess what? I'm happy. But y'all ain't going to be so happy with the 4060. I can see it with it cut down even more and tell you what I think the price is going to. I think they're going to move this new card down $100. So basically, if they got the 4070 non-TI at $599, this 4060 is going to be at $100 cheaper, $499. They're only moving the price scale down $100, but for $100, they're giving you they're taking off at least between 500 to 1,000 or 1,500 cores off of each downscale. So next time they downscale, they'll probably downscale at 1,000 cores until they get down to their last card, which will probably be down to 500 cores. And they know they can't go any lower than 500 cores. Because if they do, they know the card's going to run like crap and they can't sell it. Right now these days, they can't really sell the card at 1,000 cores. Because at 1,000 cores, they're, with all these new games and everything else, it's not really going to run. I can tell you that for a fact. Okay. I tried running Hogwarts on this. It was kind of teetering on that medium point. Because I don't have enough RAM for it in order to run it for the iGPU, in order to give the iGPU 8 gigabytes. Right now I have it set down on auto, so basically it's only using between 1 and 4 gigabytes. Kind of spreaded it out a little bit. But I can tell you this 4060 is going to probably end up being dead on arrival. Because if they go down to, like they said, they're going to go down to, let me look real quick and give me, 3,840, right? Let's see. They said 3,840 cores. Okay, they might have said more, you never know. They could have said less, you know, but I'm thinking if they're going to sell it less than 4,000 cores, is it going to be worth what everybody wants it for? I mean, you're going from 5,888 cores, you dropped off what, 1,300 cores, and you're going to try to sell it $100 less. They're charging you per core, and that's what I have a feeling they're doing. They're charging you per core, so that way you're paying for every core. It's like if I was in the working on the radio, if I was into citizen band radio, right? And somebody comes up to me and says, "Okay, I got a deal for you. I have 1,000 watts, but you're going to have to pay $1,000 just to get that 1,000 watts. That's $1 per watt to get 1,000 watts. So you're paying $1,000 for 1,000 watts. Same thing with cores. They're going to break down the cores to the certain point where you're paying almost $1.30 something a core. So you want to pay $1.30 something a core? I want to see them get it down to the 1-to-1 ratio. I want to see if they're going to go down to 75 cents a core. If they can get it down to 75 cents a core, I think everybody would be happy. But in that configuration, they'll have to figure out how to get it down to that amount. But then they're going to end up having to make cuts and everything else like they're doing now. As they go down in the selection to the 4060, and then they tried to go down to the 4050, it's going to be the same bit. So they're going to cut between 500 and 1,000 cores, or even greater, off of the next one. So I think they cut over 1,200 cores off of this one to go down one series. So it could be that the lowest they're going is probably the 4050 series. That could be the last series they're going to put on this, is the 4050 before they go up to the 50 series. So it could be it too. Just to let y'all know that. I mean, I don't foresee them doing a 4040. The only thing I can see them doing is the 4060 Ti, either the 4060 Ti or the 4060, the 4050 Ti or the 4050. They only have four or three more left in order to go up to the 50 series. Now, who knows if they're going to start the 50 series off at 5090, or if they're going to start it off at 5050 and work their way up. Who knows what they're going to do. Once the 50 series comes out, then the price of the 40 series, it's going to be like the price of the 30 series. Cards are going to go up in price in the 40 series. Everybody's going to fight to get to the 40 series because, they can't get their hands on the 30 series, or the 20 series, or the 10 series, and so on. Okay, so it is what it is. All I'm saying is get one graphics card that you like and enjoy, that you can update. Boom, you're off to the race. And then you're good to go. And as far as the 4060, it's not going to make it. Either 4060 Ti, and they even said the 4079 Ti should have been 4060 Ti for the price it's at. And for $599, I'll tell you something. The 4079 Ti, that's even dead in the water itself. Not many people are buying it. A couple are, but not many. Okay, they're all waiting to see what's coming on the 4060 series. But for 8 gigabytes of 4060 series, I don't know. Now, if it's a 12 gigabyte 4060 series, maybe. Let's say they do a 4060 Ti with 12 gigabytes or 4060 Ti with 16 gigabytes and charge you $499 for that, then I can see where the price to performance is. But I can't see it because the amount of cores and everything else, it's just a complete mess to me. But that is my thought about what's going on, about the leaks. I know there's some people that are leaking out about the 4060 series, and truthfully, I follow up on Tech Power Up. I watch a couple reviewers, see what they're saying, and then, I come up to my overall conclusion. The card is crap. Okay? I can tell you the 4060, the one that's going to be coming out in May, is going to be crap, and it's going to be dead on arrival. This 4070 non-Ti, I don't know, everybody seems to like it, but some people don't, and most people are not buying it, so it's just sitting on store shelves collecting dust. So when it does that and it's not moving, guess what that means? The card is, it explains itself. How many million of people are in this world, and how many can buy a card? And there's a lot of enthusiasts, but guess what? They're not buying. Not a lot are buying the card. Very few are buying the card. Just reviewers and, maybe 1/100th of the population is buying those cards, because you see how many are sitting on the shelves. Go to Micro Center, see how many 4070 non-TIs are sitting on the shelves. Go to Best Buy, see how many sitting on their shelves. They probably don't even have them on their shelves. Look at Amazon. Look at Newegg. Even go to eBay. Have a look around. It's kind of obvious. But I can tell you the 4060 is not going to be, unless there's a but to this. If they want the 4060 to succeed, they need to put that card at $200. If they're going to want it to succeed, they need to put that card at $200. $199.99. $200. Flat out $200. And then allow the partners to go up $100. So to keep that card between $200 and $300, they'll make money, because it'll be worth it. People will buy it at $200, and guess what? At $200, it's definitely better performing than the 6600, and it's definitely performing better than the 6650 XT. So look at it that way. If nvidia wants to beat AMD for price to performance, then to match up to their 6600 and their 6650 XT, which is between $200 and $250, they get their new card, their 4060, at $200, and the other board partners between $200 and $300. Guess what? For price to performance, that now means that card, get this, that 4060 will have some value to it, for the simple fact that it is faster than the 6600 and the 6650 XT. But a lot of people are getting the 6600 and the 6650 XT. Now, if nvidia wants to get their hands on that market, that would be the better way to go, and not worry about the performance card to card, worry about the price to performance card to card. So basically, if they match all the cards up and go individual pricing on every card that's on the market right now, and say the better value right now is between the 6600 on AMD and 6650 XT on AMD. So if nvidia wants to beat AMD for price to performance with having DLSS 3 and all that, on the side as a bonus, they just took the market. Between $200 and $300, they just took the market. Blew AMD, blew Intel, blew it all out of the water. If the card's that good. So, I'm just saying. If they want to go that route, then they can go that route. So, that's my conclusion. That's my thought. If AMD wants to beat Intel, ARC wants to beat AMD with all their series and just blow them out of the water, best thing to do is take that 4060 being what it is and everything else, putting it between $200 and $300. Totally corners the market. And how I know this? By watching all the prices and the pricing that I've been doing on Graphics Card Nightmares. I got plenty of seasons. I think I'm going to be, next week will be up, or this week will be up to the 26th season. Episode 26. So, go watch the episodes and, you can see the price variance going between one to the other. And you can see in a lot of those, I have definitely measured the 6600 and the 6650 XT as being as a good, as a really good starter card if you're building your PC. Those are really two good starter cards building your PC. But if nvidia wants to beat those cards, they need to kind of think that the 1650, in the nvidia side, the 1650 and the 1660 Super are ancient cards. Get their head away from that. Move up to the real series. Be in 2023. Stop being back there about 10 years ago. Be in 2023. Bring the levels up to 2023. Stop thinking that you can get that kind of pricing and get people to spend $1,000 on a crap card. You can't. They won't. And the cards will sit there and die. The GPUs will sit there and die. And that means they're dead on arrival. That means nobody's going to buy them. And the 4079 Ti is a good example. This 40 series is a really good example because now a lot of people are, videotaping all the returns that they're doing with this 40 series. Now, when you can count 50 different GPUs for the 40 series that comes back to a company, when they got 40 to 50 to 60, 70 cards that came back, you know what that means, right? That means it's that whole series is going to be dead on arrival like normal. And because the price to performance is not there. Okay. If they want to reach their customer base, and they want to hit their customer base, okay, the only way you're going to hit your customer base is lowering your prices. They used to do this in restaurants. Used to really piss me off. Is that they used to raise the prices and fewer people came in to sit and eat. Okay? That's not how you gain. That's not how you gain more new customers. That's how you lose new customers. That's not how you gain more new customers. When these people feel they have a right price and the price is really good, they're going to be repeat customers, and then they're going to bring their friends, and then they're going to be repeat customers, and so on. Restaurants are just like buying a graphics card. If the price is too high, they ain't going to go there, and they ain't going to buy. So do understand that. And if the price is down where it's in a reasonable range, people will buy them. Okay? Now, what nvidia needs to do, they need to redraw on their end with their manufacturer the reason why the price is so high, and they need to say, hey, look, we want the price down so we can keep our customer base going, but these prices being this high, then, they need to start looking somewhere else for another manufacturer that's going to manufacture their cards for a better price. That's what is thinking of your customer base. Even though that your customer base is your gamers, and then you got your business, and many other things, but the ones that been in the thick of it is the gamers. So nvidia, the gamers been in the thick of it, and they're always here going to be buying, and I hear a lot of people praising nvidia for their performance, but now what I'm hearing is they're not saying that anymore. They're thinking about running over to AMD because the price and the performance is there. Even though that it's not there somewhat for creators, and AMD needs to work on that a little bit. But the thing is this. nvidia, you're going to lose a lot of your customer base, in which that's your gamer base. And they're going to run to AMD, and then you're going to be left with a lot of cards that are sitting dead in the water. So that's something to think about. And between AMD, Intel, and nvidia, I don't have a problem with neither ones. So, but the only problem I have, just like I'm putting myself in the customer's shoes, I'm thinking of the customer. Okay, what the customer's telling me. I've already had one of my subscribers tell me that they're not going to buy any more graphics cards or anything else. They love the system they got. They're going to stick with it. They're not buying nothing. So you know what that told me? That told me right there, when I got my subscribers telling me this, that, they're not going to go for the newest cards. So that should be a helpful hint to when I keep saying price to performance. The only way they're going to go for it is you bring down the price. Not $100, not $200, bring it down. Start getting those cards down to $199, $299, $399. And maybe even $499. That's the price range you need to be in. That's what the customers are trying to tell you. They want a $100 card, they want a $200 card, they want a $300 card, and a $400 card. They want 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing else. They don't want something that's going to be so high that they can't buy it. And 99% of your base is the lowest man's on the pole. The ones that got the least amount of money, but that they can buy little cards here and there. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. The 1, 2, 3, 4 rule. $100, $200, $300, $400. That's what the customer wants. And that's what I've been hearing from, my subscribers. You want to know? There it is. So, nvidia, there's the pricing. Even AMD, that's what they want to hear. Now, AMD, that's what they want for pricing as well. nvidia, that's what they want for pricing as well. Asus, Gigabyte, and whoever else. That's the kind of prices the customer wants. They don't want to spend $5,000 to build a PC. I can tell you that right now. Nobody, except for the 1%ers, have that kind of money. Okay? I'm putting myself in the customer's shoes and telling you what's up. So, you could either like what I have to say or take it as a grain of salt. I don't care. But the customer cares. And I care about the customers because they come and subscribe to my channel. Because I care about them. And I want them to get at least a decent PC with not breaking their pocket to where they got to mortgage their house just to get a PC. So, just to keep that in mind, just to let you know that. But also, too, just to let you know, if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Again, I keep saying it from the beginning, I say it, and at the end I say it, is because this will help support the channel. Give him positive thumbs up, that'll help support the channel. So if you want to help the channel, I'm not saying myself, I'm saying the channel, then subscribe, positive likes, watch the videos from beginning to end. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I just had my 2 cents on the RTX 4060. Y'all heard it. I said it, dead in the water. Until they get their pricing under control, nvidia, you got some problems. And the customers are seeing it, and that's the reason why they ain't buying it. But anyway, like I told you, I'm going to get out of here. But until the next time and the next video, this is JJ on JJ's PC Builds. We will see you on the next one.